Hello, Michelle here from Mission Mojo. How are you? This is going to be very exciting. This is all about creating a month's worth of social media content in just 1 hour. Now, I'm going to be running it from my computer. I'm standing up, as you can see, because I'm hoping that's really good for your energy. Well, I know it's good for your energy level. We all know that standing up is actually better than all of the time we spend sitting down. So I thought it was about time I used my stand-up desk. So here I am. I will put my slides on in a minute. I'm really glad that you're here. If you have any questions, let me know. If you're watching the recording, again, let me know. The more discussion we can have around this, the easier it will be for you. So if you have any, niggling things, how's this going to work? Or you get started and you realize there's something you hadn't thought of, please come back and ask me. That's what I'm here for, to help you out as much as I can. So one of the things I did want to say before I get started is I apologize for any noise. When I set the date, the time for this, I forgot that number one, the cleaner comes on Monday mornings. Whoops. Although she's now at the other end of the house. So hopefully that won't disturb us too much, but she may come and knock on my office door at some point. But also my husband is building a deck not far from my office. That is a little noisy from time to time because he's using various power tools. I'm hoping because of my new mic and the setup of my office, the doors closed and things, that it won't interrupt us much. So I thought, well, hey, it's just like everything else I talk about. Be messy, just go on. So if you set a date to do something like this, stand up, put your big girl shoes on, as they say, and step forward into it. It is what it is. And today it might be a bit messy. That's okay. We can still get the message across. So I'm now going to pull the slides up so that we can get started and get into all this goodness, because it's all, it's very exciting. Now I just have to find my, right, there we go, Keynote. So I will pull that up. So right now you'll see the main page. So I'm going to press play. Hopefully that is resulting in you seeing the entire, although you may not be, I've got two screens going. Just hold one tick. I'm going to pull the other screen out so that this is the only one showing and that you're not potentially seeing multiple screens, which we don't want. So just hold on your horses and I'll just scoot over here. This is the technology when you change things at the very last minute, which is what I've done. Let me see. Okay, just one tick. Might just stop the recording while I'm doing it. So stop sharing. All right, I'm just going to do a little technical mumbo jumbo by pulling my second screen out, and hopefully that will not cause anything major. There we go. I've pulled that out. You can probably hear that. So now when I click share screen, I won't be as unsure as what you're actually seeing, whether you're seeing my version or the full version. So of course we want you to see the full version. So here we go again. And share. And what you're seeing right now is my version. So I'm going to hit play, which is hiding. There we go. Okay. Right. So as I said, welcome. I'm going to shrink myself too if I can find my, no, didn't want to do that. So this is the messy part. For some reason, my mouse has disappeared. I'm not sure if anyone else has got, anyway, I can't move myself from the top corner, which is a little frustrating. I thought I would just be able to click it, but my mouse is, I'm going to see where it's hovering and maybe, no, every time I click, it just wants to take it to the next screen. So talk about messy and, we're never going to get there. Anyway, yes, we will. That's not the case. Anyway, here we are. You're going to have to put up with my face in the top right-hand corner while we go through. I guess it's not the worst thing that could happen. It's a bit annoying because it's covering up some of the slide. All right, let's get going. So 1 month social media content in 1 hour. As I said, welcome along to this masterclass. I'm so happy you found some time to be here or to watch the recording. I am blessed to be able to bring this to you. It is actually something we all have access to, but many of us think that we don't because we have such busy lives and we just don't even know where to start, that it becomes too overwhelming. So this is really a process of a de-overwhelming, which is not a word, but how to take all of that chaos that's going on in your head and what you think you know and what you know about social media and how it works and how you can make that work in your business, even though the main thing you're doing is, well, it's running your business, not running social media. However, it is a very important part of most people's businesses in this day and age. So it is an important element, especially if you're growing your business and you want it to be more than what it is today, then social media is definitely something you should be looking at. Now, but how can we do it in a time effective way? And that's what we're about today. So 3 things for you. Make sure that you don't have any distractions, unlike me today, who has plenty of distractions going on, as you can tell. Make sure that you're hydrated and make sure that you you have something to take notes. There is a workbook as well that go along with this. So wherever you see this recording, I'll make sure the workbook link is there, which will be useful just in the middle of the presentation today, where you'll be able to make some notes for yourself around a few brainstorming ideas. And hopefully that will make it more useful for you. So TikTok. Now, who am I? Many of you, well, actually, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't know who I am. My name is Michelle Frost, and I've been working online since just before 2002. So coming up to, I was trying to work it out the other day, coming up to 18, 19 years. I've had multiple types of businesses online, including digital businesses, including coaching, including we have had a web development business, we've had an SEO business, and we've had plenty of businesses where we're consultants to state and federal governments here in Australia, where we go and help small businesses to improve their online presence in some way. So there was a lot of, and there still is in many countries, I'm sure this is the same, but here in Australia, many state and there are all of the states and also the federal government runs programs to help small business to get and grow online. And we have been a part of that over the years as well, as the service provider for some of that information. I hope that is not too loud for you. So that's a big part of my background online. As a result, we've won a national award and a local state award as well for our work in this space. So I do know what I'm doing. We also traveled with 3 of our 5 children for 18 months around the world and took our digital business with us. So we proved that it's actually possible to, not just be in your office in front of the computer all the time. You can actually get out and have a bit of a life. And this can be a freedom business if you work it that way, and that's what you want out of your life. We're now back home, obviously. That's where I am now, back in Tasmania in Australia. So that's a little bit about me and why I'm here and how I'm able to help you and want to help you to move your business forward. Mostly these days, I work in the social media space, although I'm also moving towards a bit of life coaching and exercise, which is, it's completely different from online things, but I will be marrying the two together and creating digital products around that in the future. So watch this space if you're interested in that. Most of my clients, though, and what you'll learn from me over time, is that I believe you really need to nail who your ideal client is, because then your message is much clearer. So rather than being a panacea for everyone, which makes it people very hard to work out if you're really right for them, you have to work out who you want to serve and who you can serve best so that your marketing messages are very clear to them. This is 101 online marketing, or marketing in general, really, is understanding who your ideal client is. So for me, mine is people, generally women who work in the health and wellness space. They tend to be health and wellness type practitioners who spend their time helping other people. So one of the things I love about what I do and being able to help this group of women, wonderful women, is that they're helping others. So if the more I can help them get their message and their service out to more people, the more the world is becoming a better place, because they're able to help more people deal with whatever their issues are. And it's a happier place. So I feel like I'm lifting the vibration of the planet, if you like, if you want to look at it at a grand scale, by helping more of these kind of people. And so I love that. So exponentially, I'm able to, I feel like I'm able to help more people by helping these kind of people who do a lot of good out there in the world. Especially in this day and age, we certainly need a lot of help. There's a lot of people out there who are having all kinds of problems thanks to the year 2020 that we've all found ourselves surviving through. Well, most of us anyway. It's been quite a challenging year for many people. So let me move forward. That's me. So today, though, one of the things I really wanted to get into your head and for you to understand is foundational social media. So this isn't all the bells and whistles, fancy launching stuff and, making millions of dollars in a launch while people see you and you're like a flash in the pan and then you disappear. This is more about creating your bricks and mortar. I like to use an analogy of filling some shelves, but it's about making sure that when people go to your Facebook page, what they see is something that's alive, a person that they would want to do business with, or a person that they would want to go and see to talk about whatever their issue is at the moment, a person that they can trust. So if they go to your Facebook page, and I'm using Facebook as an example, but you could use any social media as an example here because it's still very relevant. It's wherever your target market hangs out in social media, that's important. So I'm using Facebook as an example, but if they go to your page and there hasn't been a post since, I don't know, 2018, even though you're still in business, it's like, are they still in business? That's the little thing that will go off in a new client's head. Are they really still in business? Like they're not posting anything. But if you've got a strategy in place, which is what we're talking about today, where you can put content out there regularly, and for social media, or for Facebook in particular, it's once a day to twice a day, if not more. And we'll go into a few reasons later of why that is. Other social media platforms have different numbers that they think that you should put out. But I would say minimum for most of them is once a day. Like bare minimum. Some of them, the volume is much higher that they like. So if you happen to have your client base mostly live in one of the platforms that prefers a lot more, so Instagram, for example, then you need to be thinking about strategies that, and this one can be adapted for that, where you're posting like 3 or 4 times a day. And I think Pinterest is also one that's quite high in the volume rate per day as well. So that kind of stuff is important to know. So it's foundational social media we're talking about. So the layer that happens, it's a bit like, well, like I said, the foundation of a house. So you have the foundation. Without it, you can't build anything else on top. So it's not that you don't then go and put out your offers and your bits and pieces, but that comes on top of the foundation. So the foundation's there, you build it, and you set a process like this in place, and it stays there. It stays there building. It doesn't, you don't just build it and then walk away. It's the kind of process that you will need to spend, say, 1 hour a month, making sure it's the way you want it, setting it up. And then you can potentially just leave your social media, apart from coming in and doing your, any promotions or things that you've got going at the time, or Facebook Lives, things like that. So, excuse me. As I said before, it's a little bit like filling your shelves in a shop. Whoops, sorry, Siri's talking to me. So you can imagine when you go into a local shop and the last time you went there, they didn't have some specialist kind of food or product you were after. How did you feel about that? You were probably like disappointed, maybe. Maybe the shelves didn't have a lot on there and you were like, I think next time when I'm looking for XYZ product, I might go to their competitor down the road because actually their shelves are stocked most of the time and I can generally find what I want there. So rather than wasting my time coming to this shop that doesn't appear to take its shelves very seriously, like its stock very seriously, I'm going to go where I know I can get what I want straight away with no fuss. So that's the analogy I'd like you to think a little bit about, and that is keeping your shelves fully stocked. And that's the foundational stuff, because it does make you relatable. People can come there, they can develop an understanding of who you are. They know they can actually, well, it's actually good to turn people off as well. So if people come there and they say, actually, I can see this isn't the kind of content I'm interested, not interested in, then you get rid of the tire kickers or the people who just are not your target market. They're somebody else's target market, and you don't want them wasting your time with loads of questions and loads of this and that if they're never actually going to become your client, do you? So that's another reason. And so being relatable to the right person, maybe that's a good way to put it, rather than just being relatable. So it gives people an opportunity to come, they can sample who you are and decide whether you're the right person that they want to work with. So that's great. You also look a bit more trustworthy because, as we said before, when those shelves are not full, it's like, can I trust you with my whatever problem? Say if you're a therapist or maybe you're a physio or something, can I trust you? Because, you don't turn up here. How do I know you'll turn up for me on a regular basis when I need you to? So that's the trustworthy side of it. And connection, of course, very similar to relatability, but it provides a connection. And in this day and age, we really are all looking out for connection. 2020 seems to be even more so because we've had all these borders and these isolations in place. Connection has been something that people have been looking for. So if you hadn't updated your Facebook page since 2018, for example, then it's very hard for people to make that kind of connection. It's not current because Facebook put the date there. They know when the last thing, people can easily see when the last thing was put there. Now, when it comes to when I'm talking about your Facebook page, I'm talking about that home page, your home business page generally. And that's generally where people will go to find you. But those people who are going there are new clients as a rule. Okay. They're not your existing clients because they already know how to contact you. They're probably already on your email list. They're already booked in with you, for example. They're only going to go to this page, the one that you see all the time because you go to your page all the time, but they're only going to see that page sort of rarely. Facebook is not going to show it to them very often. It's generally something like 3% of people who have liked your page. So they've said, Facebook, I really want to hear from these people. It's about 3% that will actually hear from you on a regular basis. So it's another reason to post regularly is that tells Facebook's algorithm that you're actually a high producing, content producing business on Facebook. So they will then show you a little bit more regularly, especially the more you get engagement from the people who already know, like, and trust you. However, coming back to it, the people who land on that Facebook page, that main one of yours that lists, chronologically, usually, sort of, what posts and what's been going on, they're going to be your new clients. That's probably one of the main reasons that we want to keep these shelves as full as possible, because that's their first impression of you, if you like, in many cases. Maybe they've heard about you on a podcast, or a friend has told them, or they've just been Googling your kind of business and you've popped up in some way, or they've searched on Facebook or whatever, you've popped up, and then they land on this page. As we said before, I think I've probably made the point quite well. If that page is looking not alive, if it's looking like the last time you updated it was some time ago, they might just move on to the next person who seems to be engaged with their audience. So I'm sure I'm starting to bring home the point as to why this is important, because otherwise you're going to be invisible, you're going to be unrelatable, and you're going to be untrustworthy. So just repeating all of the things in reverse of what we were just talking about, all the things that you don't want, especially to those new clients that you're trying to make a good impression for and that you want to be able to help. So it's a really good reason to have a strategy in place to make sure that your social media feeds look alive and engaging and of value to people. So we don't want to be invisible. I love the way my face is just sitting right on top of everything that I've got here. So you are needed, especially if you're in the healing space. I'm sure every business is needed in some way. It's existing for a reason to serve a purpose. But because my main focus is people who go out and help other people, basically, you are really needed. And as I said, this year, probably more than ever, and the repercussions of this year, they're going to go on for years. So it's not just going to be the end of 2020, which is coming up. It's not going to be a line in the sand that says, people don't need help anymore. You really are you're needed now, and you will be needed in the future. I think the ripples will be going for decades, actually, from what I've heard and read, and understand. We're all living through this. We can see the effect it's having on humanity. So yes, people definitely need you, and it is time for you to step up. You have gifts, you have wonderful things that you can provide that will help people help them move through what they're going through. So it really is important that you step up as much as you can, and they are looking for you. Um, I often say people will come to me in my coaching roles and talk about, hey, but XYZ, Jane Smith over there is already doing that thing that I want to do, that service that I want to offer or that I can offer. But the difference is that Jane over there she's not you. She can't be you. So whatever you bring to your role or your service, um, no one else can do that. So even though there might be, dozens of people offering similar services, if not hundreds in some cases, of a very similar nature, no one else can be you. So what you bring to that role, what you bring to that coaching, that life coaching, or the other kinds of services that you're providing, it's very unique to you. And the people that you end up working with, they need what you have, not what Jane has. There's the little, what do you call it? That little X factor that you have that we need to pull out. And by you regularly showing up in this way, it will be possible for them to connect and say, yes, that's the X factor that I'm looking for. This person is really going to be able to help me. So there is only one you, and I want you to remember that. And guess what? To stop hiding. All right. So it's really important that you bring all your goodness out into the world. And this is one way that you can at least make that possible for people to connect with you when they're looking for you and they're in need. So, how are we going to create this foundational social media? Well, it's quite simple, actually. It's not complicated. And if it's done right, it doesn't have to take a long time either, which is really what this whole masterclass is about. How do we do all this in, say, an hour, maybe 2 hours a month? And that's what I'm going to show you now. So by being consistent, being engaging, so the content you put out engages your ideal clients, and by being full of value, so making sure that the content you do put out does actually provide something. So when I say value, it's not necessarily just here's a great tip that somebody can use and immediately and go and work with, although that is also relevant. It also could be something that makes them smile, something that makes them have a laugh for the day, or something that just connects with them and says, that's the way I believe too. That quote, that's a great quote. I think I might print that out and put it on the fridge. It's that kind of, those kind of things. It's the kind of content that will make people say, yes, you also agree with my worldview. Like we're on a similar page. I'm sure we can work together. So it's that kind of, it's engaging, and people will relate to it. Yeah. And valuable, I should say. That's how the value can come out, as well as it is going to enrich their lives in some way. Of course, we've already talked about the daily minimum posts. So how to put all of that together. All right. I'm thinking behind my face, I'm sure you're seeing what I'm saying, but it says you're too busy, it's too hard, it takes too long, you don't know what to do, you don't know what to share, and you don't want to annoy people. They're all things that I hear all the time. But of course, you don't have enough clients. So some of these things are going to need to be adjusted in your mind, aren't they? Because actually, in order to get more clients, you need to think about this differently. And as anyone listening to this is most likely going to be on a similar page to me, in that you'll believe that what we think really controls what we do. And we actually have control over how we think. So even if you're thinking these things now, you are aware that you don't have to think these things, that you can change it. In fact, you can think the opposite if you wish. It's purely up to you. So if you don't have enough clients and you want some more, let's move forward. We just need to do a little bit of planning. And then, of course, we need to take action. So we need to execute. Well, that's not really a surprise, is it? So I've got, this is a silly picture of me in a fancy dress event. I've got this silly little acronym called BBO, which is brainstorming, ideas, topics, and basically the theme for a month or a week. So it's for a period. And then we have brainstorm your day types, which again, I'll explain. I'll show you an example in a minute. So that will make that a little bit clearer for you. And instead of 1 month, I just want to expand your brain a little bit and think, well, actually, you could do some of this part of it, like some of this planning. You could actually do it for a year if you wanted to. You could just stick to 1 month if you wish, or you could get all of the planning part done for a year. And then you'll have the big picture. You just to go in and fill out the little bits in between, which I'll show you in a minute. But so just to make you just expand a little bit further, because you don't want your business to be here for 1 month. You want it to be here for many years. So looking at a big picture should actually be something you're quite happy to do. So let's move on and see how we're going to do this. So brainstorming ideas, topics, and themes. Now, in your workbook, if you open the workbook, this is one of the 2 pages. The next page after this, you'll see a little place for you to write down a whole bunch of things. So what do I mean by ideas, topics, themes? I don't want you to get lost in this. This is big picture. And I will show you examples in a minute. So here we're talking about you brainstorming, throwing down a bunch of ideas, things that you would like to talk about, things that you could create some content on. When I say create content, I mean write a blog post or do a Facebook Live or so, do a video, do a masterclass like this, do any kind of content that where you're providing information. So we're not talking about you brainstorming what you're going to do. We're only talking about the big picture. So for me, I think about things as large as gratitude. So I might want a month on gratitude. I might want a month on inspiration. I might want a month on acceptance. So I use words like that because my target market, the people that I work with, the ladies that I love, are all in that healing space. So these are things that relate to them. They're things that they're interested in, and they're things that we all are on the same page, and I can develop content around those. So I can write a blog post about it, and then a lot of the other content that flows from that will be around a similar theme. So we're thinking about theming. I usually do it for a month, but you could even just do a week. You could have a theme for a week or a fortnight, or a 2-week period, whatever suits you and the way you work. But it's coming up with those, and you'll be surprised. You can probably come up with, for example, I've got 3 years worth of these 1-word type ones that I went through a few examples of, and I can write blog posts, I can do whatever. Mostly I just provide content for my social media around those themes, but you can do it. However, anyway, I will show you some more information about it before I time myself around and tongue tie myself. I hope that makes sense. If you need any clarity, let me know. So this is we're brainstorming the main theme for the period, month or week. The next brainstorming we're going to do, and there'll be another piece of paper for you in your workbook, which will give you some space to do some brainstorming for the day types. Now, the day types, I'm sure there's a better way to describe that, but at the moment, that's what I'm calling it. And you'll probably, if you've had any time in social media or observed it from afar for a little bit, you will have seen this a lot. There'll be things like, Manic Monday or Question Wednesday or Tip Tuesday or that kind of thing. So the idea is that you assign each day a particular type of post. That's what it is. So it's a particular type of post. It might be a video. It might be an out the window spontaneous post that you do once a week that shows what you're doing for that day. It might be a joke post. It might be a quote post from you. It might be a quote post from someone else. It might be getting content from the web around this topic, around that theme that we talked about before, that somebody else, so an article that somebody else has written on, say, gratitude, and you're sharing that. But it's all kind of loosely based around that theme that we talked about a minute ago. So then you know that on Tuesdays you do this, on Wednesdays this happens, etc., etc. So the days not only now we don't have to think about what is the theme, what am I going to talk about, and because you've worked that out a minute ago, you also don't have to think, well, how am I going to present that? Because, well, on Tuesdays you do tips. So do a tip around gratitude. On Thursdays, you do quotes. Do a quote, go find a quote on gratitude. There's heaps of them. So I'm sure that you can understand that, see how that fits together, and I'll show you how to make that work. Now, these day types don't have to be, you don't have to have 7 of them. You could have, it could have 14 of them, for example. You could have Tuesday could be tip day one week, and then the next week, Tuesday, could be when you put an engaging question to your audience as well. So you can work it any way you like, but you need, if I was you, I would choose some kind of pattern. So the pattern doesn't have to be over 7 days. It could be over a fortnight. It could even be over a month. If you can think of enough different day types that you could spread it out over 30 days or the like. So I hope that makes sense. I will show you again an example in a minute if you're thinking, what is she talking about? And then, of course, the 1 year. And that's what I said earlier. You can actually, if you get a handle on this, you can do this in one, like you could do it a whole year's worth of planning of this. And then it's just getting the content pulled together based on the planning. But it will make you feel really good, quite virtuous, but also you'll have all of that in front of you and you'll be able to work other things around it. So it's quite powerful to be able to do it in a big chunk like that. And again, it doesn't need to, once you've done this brainstorming initially, it doesn't take so long. I'm just going to stop the sharing of the slideshow now somehow, except I've lost my mouse. And let's see if I can find it here, so that we can move to, I think if I hit escape, it'll work. So we can move to showing you the example calendar. There we go. Oh, look, I have a mouse back. So I'll leave the sharing on. Actually, no, I'll stop the sharing because I want to share a different screen. So I'll stop the sharing. Hello. And I will go to my Chrome. So I'll do another share. And we'll move to, I think it's this one. Let me see. And flicking around and click. So I'm hoping you can now see my calendar. So this is the theme for gratitude. This is a month which has been themed for gratitude. It looks a little colorful, mostly because I like colors. So this spreadsheet has 2 tabs, as you can see. This is the first sheet, and this is just the overall view for a month. So you can see you've got what's 5 weeks, because a lot of months aren't only 4, apart from the odd February. You can see we have this, well, number 1, the month's theme is gratitude, so it's not written anywhere. I haven't put the dates in this because it's one that I use in a membership site that I provide. And it's, people can put their own date in there when they're using it. As you can see up here, it's all color coded. So each of these days have the day type we were talking about. So that's the monthly themes taken care of, and then we move on to the day type. So here we've got case study or testimonial, an inspiring quote based on gratitude. So the case study testimony doesn't have to be around gratitude. Like it's sort of said, it's quite loosely applied theme. You can be tight or loose as you wish, whatever you find easy to do. A you quote is because you are actually an important person in this whole scheme of things, and you do have lots of things that are valuable to say. So quotes from you around gratitude would go in here and would be very relevant and very important. It also makes you an authority. It's probably the word I'm looking for. Is that when you quote yourself, it might seem a bit strange at first, but actually you are an expert in what you do, and people need to get to know you. So quoting yourself should become quite natural after a little while. So anyway, have a play with it. It actually can be a lot of fun as well. So we've got a curated content link in here as well. So there's 2 on this day at the moment. Again, this is all very loose. It's to give people an example. Curated content link means, as I said before, go and find an article or a video or something on gratitude that someone else has created. That's why it's called curated, because it means that you're finding other things that agree with your worldview, with whatever this theme is, and you're sharing it with your audience. So you're not just being this isolated little silo. It's actually quite important that you show this breadth, that it's not just come and learn from me because I'm, the king of all the things. Instead, it's come and learn from me because I also learn from lots of other people around me, or lots of other things and experiences. I'm not just, everything that you hear from me is not just coming from me, but it's a worldview, if you like, and it's very good for credibility as well. So it's really quite important that you have that kind of context going on in your marketing. The next one along is a call to action post. So that might be, I've got a free ebook, come and download it, or something like that. It's something to get people into your email list. And then blog link, that's pretty self-explanatory. That would be a blog around gratitude. Of course, it doesn't have to be a blog, but that's just a main piece of content around gratitude, whatever your theme is. And it doesn't have to be each week either, by the way. As I said, this is just an example. Facebook Lives, I think everybody knows how important video is at the moment in social media, not just in Facebook, but across all of the social media platforms. So if there's a way that you can provide constant or regular video, then you should do it. It's one of the reasons it's in this calendar is just to remind people. So it could be that you decide gratitude being the monthly theme is something that you will talk about on one of those Facebook Lives, or maybe each Facebook Live for that month, you'll talk about something about gratitude. You'll choose a different aspect. Then we have engaging question. So for me, engaging question is a question that does not result in a yes or no answer, but actually results in people who answer the question having to expand a little bit more on their answer rather than just saying yes or no. Sometimes people do fun things with the question. They might say, what is your favorite color and what does it say about you? Or they'll post one of those things about color, for example, that says, if you like red, then you're whatever. So some of those can be quite fun too. They would probably fit into that engaging question as well. They're just a little bit more frivolous and people don't have to spend as much brain energy thinking about how they're going to reply. Instead, they just say, oh, my favorite color is red. And that means I'm because of what's written in the post earlier. So have a play with that again. A lot of this is test and measure. So you don't quite know necessarily what type of post that your audience will really love or not love. So you can actually, move it around. Obviously, it's quite flexible. The theme tip is pretty obvious. So a tip on gratitude. So how can people have more gratitude in their life? I'm sure you could probably come up with a bunch of tips without having to Google it. But if you need to, you could Google it and find lots of examples of things like that, of tips that you could give out to people. And if you wanted to, you could reference where you got them from. But if they're just sort of generic, write in your journal each day, for example, and name one thing you're grateful for. That's kind of a pretty generic tip. You could probably use that without needing to reference anyone. And then we've got inspiring quotes again. So again, they've got an inspiring quote here and an inspiring quote there, but totally up to you how you would want to use that. As I said, it's just an example. And then we've got image video with a quote. So this is trying to get you also, like the Facebook Lives, to think about how you can incorporate regular video into your social media too, because it's so important. In this case, that kind of video that I'm talking about is like a slideshow video where you might just put a bit of text over the top, and that's really easy to do in services like Canva, which I won't go into right now, but it's quite a simple technique, but it provides a video. Still, you've got a quote and a video with a bunch of images, and people will see it, and Facebook will share it more often because it's a video. That's how that works. So that's the front page. It's just the overview. And then if we move along to the next tab, you'll see this is actually where it's all broken down. So there's the types of day posts are moved over here into the this column for each week. And then you come along and fill it out basically. So that initial planning, you can do this for a whole year. Okay. So you can have 12 of these calendars, or you can have one spreadsheet with the 12 months in it. It's up to you, with just your different themes broken up, depending on what your themes are, of course, over that 12 months. And then you can just come in here and spend actually doesn't take me very long. So I'm into my second year of doing this regularly. I haven't really missed a beat. And I'll give you one little secret before the end why that is. But I come in here, on a Sunday every 2 or 3 weeks, and I just fill it out based on whatever the theme is for the month and what the day type is. It's all of those things are taken away. Like it's almost like removing the white piece of paper, which writers are always talking about. When you do that little bit of planning up front, which really doesn't need to take you very long, probably could do it in an hour, 2 hours at the most, that little bit of planning that we're just going through, choosing the themes of your months and then choosing the types of posts you want to put and putting them over, what days you want to put them on. That really wouldn't, you could do that in an hour. I actually think you could easily do that in an hour. Put it into a spreadsheet like this, and suddenly all you need to do is come in and all of those niggly little questions that stop us, they're taken care of. You just need to come in and fill out those little spots. Okay, so you would put in the copy. This is a link, if there is one. So say if it was a link to download your ebook or something, or get people on your email list in some way, or a link to somebody else's content, that would go in there. This is a link to any image. So if you've created an image that you're going to use there, then I tend to put that into Dropbox and the link goes in here. Same for video. It's pretty self-explanatory. I use schedulers, tend to use Buffer. There are loads of them, and you can schedule directly onto Facebook if you want to. So you can actually do a lot of this work and even upload it a long time before it's due to go out. Hence the building the foundational stuff, getting it set, and then going away and doing the rest of your business while it drips out the content that you have set up and scheduled. So that's just what this is. Yes, it's been scheduled, yes or no. And then, of course, there's across, it's all quite self-explanatory. It's very, very easy. If you have any questions, please do let me know, because when you first come into this kind of thing, it can seem a little bit overwhelming. But once you get started, you realize it's actually pretty easy. So that's the spreadsheet and the calendar. Let me just stop sharing for a minute and then I'll go back to my slideshow. And I'll probably lose my mouse again, which will be lots of fun. But it is what it is. I might just move my face while I'm here. I'm not sure if that's going to help or not, but we will soon find out. Probably need to move this out of the way too because the play button's there. Okay. Oh, now we've got it right in the middle. I'm not sure that that's any better. Because on the next page, we don't really want it there. Actually, I am actually going to move myself back up here because I'm then, actually I might go over here. Sorry, I know I'm being quite annoying. Let me see, press play. All right, so that's 1 year in the calendar, as you can see. We've brainstormed our themes and we've brainstormed our day types. You can be really flexible. Just having the concept that you can get a whole year's worth of planning done within an hour or so it's actually quite doable, even though at the moment it may not feel so. I hope looking at that calendar has made you realize that you actually can. All right. So I can give you a copy of a calendar at the end as well that you'll be able to use. I'll probably put that, actually the link with wherever the recording is too, so you can have an access to it and then play around with it and copy it and do whatever you like in your business. All right. So now that you can create 1 month's content in 1 hour, which is amazing. Oh, hold on a tick. Okay, I hope that calendar and that spreadsheet has really helped you get inspired and made you realize all that you can do actually in just an hour. All that planning. Wow. So once you've got that done, then all you need to do, as I was pointing out in the spreadsheet, is create the copy for each of the days, but you already know what day type it is. You already know the theme. So you already roughly have an idea of what you could talk about and what type of post it is. So is it a quote? Is it a question? Is it a joke? Blah, 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 blah. So you already know that. And then you just need to choose an image or a video. So some content to go with it. Because as a rule, it's quite a visual medium, most social media. So having a video or an image with it is usually works best for your market because it catches people's attention. When you're talking about videos too, just as a little aside, don't forget things like the little Giphy kind of videos, just things that have a little bit of motion, but they're not, full-on videos like this is, for example. As I said before, you could just do a slideshow type of video where you have a bunch of images showing the background with a quote or whatever on top. So there's some pretty simple ways you can get some motion in an image, which will, grab people's attention, which is what we're after in that very busy social media feeds. And then, as I did allude to, because one of the columns in the spreadsheet is about scheduling. So I've written here that that's a bonus tip, but I think most people this day and age know that it is possible to create a lot of content ahead of time and schedule it. So not everything has to be posted right there and then. So it's, you can do it. You can do it well ahead of time if you wish. I haven't actually tested to see how many years ahead you could schedule a post, but I guess it would depend on the platform. There are loads and loads of different services that provide that. Just a small word of caution is that Facebook prefer it when you schedule directly with them. They, of course, don't like it when you use an outside service as much. So they don't necessarily share your posts as much. It's just another one of the small little things inside that algorithm we talked about before, that the social media platforms, they all have it, not just Facebook. It's just another little factor. There's lots of factors in there. I personally still find it much more convenient to use a service like Buffer to schedule a lot of this foundational content. And I know actually, when it goes into Instagram, I find I still get quite a bit of engagement in there versus Facebook. So it could be, again, a little bit of test and measuring. Depends on you. If you're happy to do it directly into Facebook, then do that. Because I work with someone else as well, it's actually easier for me to use an outside service. But I will go into that again shortly. Right. So let me share a way you can have a lot of this done for you. Okay, so you probably can see that creating all of the spreadsheet and doing the brainstorming and things is something you could do quite quickly. I'm hoping you can see that. But maybe you're starting to say, hey, Michelle, those images and those videos, where do I get them? How does that going to work? Please, I'm not sure I could do that. Most people, it's amazing how many people come to me and say, I'm not creative. I'm like, what? Or I get the opposite. I'm too creative, like I'm over the top and all I really want to do is create stuff all day long and not deliver it or not finish it. So that can be a problem both ways, obviously. However, if you are the kind of person who finds it very difficult to deal with images and videos and things like that, then, and coming up with a lot of that copy too, because I know there are a lot of people who are very good at providing their service. Their business is fantastic, actually. What they do is amazing and they help lots of people. But having to express it necessarily in text, for example, or even to video sometimes, although I think a little bit of practice goes a long way, but they find it quite challenging. And certainly pumping it out like I'm trying to explain to you here is not necessarily something they think is accessible to them. I don't think they're right, but I'd like to share with you a service that I have, a library, if you like, that can take away a lot of that pain for you and make things so much easier and a lot quicker. And as I said before, if you stay to the end, I will actually put the link to the workbook and to the content calendar. Wherever you find this video, you should be able to find that too. If you don't find it there, the link to that, come and ask me. Find me wherever in social media and I will get it for you. So let me share. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. So Social Mojo is in beta at the moment. I'm embarrassed to say it's been in beta for some time because I've been working with so many other clients and we've had other things going on in this year beyond COVID and beyond the craziness that has been 2020. There's been quite a chaotic year for my family in particular. The beta has been a bit delayed and I have had a few people inside this service, helping me play with the bugs and things, but it's still in beta. And what does that mean to you? So being in beta means that it's not perfect yet, but, and by the way, it'll probably never be perfect because nothing ever is really perfect. And my aim is never actually to have anything perfect, but it does work. And there is plenty of amazing content in there already, particularly because, as I said, it's actually been around for a little while. I've had this website planned and actually set up for some time. And the content I have been slowly building over that time as well. So it's not like you're going to be jumping into a completely empty space. There's actually things in here. So what is Social Mojo? Social Mojo is a library which will be providing with you with a whole bunch of good things, including a monthly themed calendar, a bit like the one we just saw, a bit like the gratitude calendar. I also will be providing you with a bunch of images. There's actually at least 20 images and 5 videos each month that are based around the theme, whatever the theme is for that month. The images will be coming from my own camera, so they're not going to be the images that you see splashed all over the web. The videos are, some of them will be from me and some of them are from services where they're copyright free, so you can use them any way you like. And the videos will tend to be, they're little videos like the waves rolling, clouds moving, or grass, they're those kind of videos. So they'll be related to whatever the theme is of the month. As I said before, I alluded to that, I have 3 years worth of themes. Okay, so potentially we will have 3 years worth of content for you to dig in should you choose to be a member. Excuse me. So so you won't need to go look for images. You won't need to go look for videos. Also, based around the theme, whatever the theme is of the month, you will also get 20 odd quotes and tips and captions to add to those images and videos. What? And then a little bit of training on how to put it together. So the training's already in there. I will give you a little walkthrough in a minute so you can see. So some people have said to me, won't that mean that everybody who's in the Social Mojo library will be posting the same images and things out at the same time? Well, the answer is no, they actually won't. Even if we get to like full capacity of about, I'd like about 500, even if we get to that full capacity, my ideal number, I can't see that happening, mostly because, as I said, there's probably 20, 25 images and videos. There's more than 20 quotes and tips that need to be then applied to the images. So you can choose which images, which quotes go on which images and how they presented. You can choose to use images that aren't in the library if you wish, and just use the quotes, for example, or the tips or the questions. So you can choose how you put it together. So the likelihood of many people from the library, even at 500 people, say, of choosing the same combination of those things is actually quite slim. Not to mention, just because, say the gratitude theme, which is the bonus theme that everyone gets, you may not choose to do that on the same month. So that one will be available all the time. Probably not the greatest example, but say if they chose the November theme, which I need to look over there, the November theme was calm. So if they chose calm, that means that the person could use that, or members could use that in November, but they could also use it in December or January or February or March. So it doesn't quite work like that. And because, as I'll show you in a minute, there's actually 4 months worth of content in there for you already. You don't have to use them based on those months. You don't have to do that at all. You can spread it around a bit, especially the longer you're in there, the more months you'll have available to you. So I don't see that as a big problem. And if it does become a problem, it's something we can address in the future. But right now, it's not going to be a problem. So like I said, there's training in there on how to put it together, which I shall show you. There's also a private Facebook group where I'm planning to get into there at least twice a month, on the first and third Thursday of each month, to answer any questions, either live or questions that you send in. If you choose to get in to the library at the beta price of $47 a month, you'll never have to pay any more. So it's grandfathered. That's what that means. All right. I hope you're a little bit excited about it. I am excited about it. It's been a baby of mine that I've kind of been keeping hidden for, I think it's about 2 years now. So it's a long time. It was developed over a year ago, like actually made real. And then I first released it in April, and then a few things happened in our family, and we had to step back a little bit. We had a few medical emergency things happen, not related to COVID. So that kind of put a little bit of a stop to it as well. And then other client work took over for a little bit. But here we are. As I said, it's been a bit of a baby of mine for some time. So I do hope that you like it. Let me take you on a little tour. I shall stop sharing the slideshow and I will bring up the membership site so that you can have a little look around to see what you would get should you choose to join me. And I really hope that you do. So when you log in, you will first, I might move myself again, you will get this. This is the monthly themes page and sort of explains a little bit about it. But if I was you, I would pop over to the welcome. So once you're first logged in, you will go to the welcome page. I might even change that so that one pops up first because it makes more sense. Unless I guess you're already a member, you don't necessarily want to go to the welcome all the time. So there's a little video there from me, and then the rest of it is explained through here. So you'll see what you get, what you're getting each month. And oh, look at it all. There's so much stuff. So I need to there's a lot of things in here. So you're getting a lot for $47 a month. Let me put it that way. Now, if you come over here to monthly theme, we've already looked at the gratitude one. I will just look at calm. As I said, this is November. I might come in here and actually add the months in front of it so that you can tell what's what. This is November. Again, there's a little video from me. It's basically pointing down and up, telling you where the things are. So if you click here, you will be taken to very similar. Click it so you can see. Actually, you won't be able to see it because you have to make a copy. But what you'll see is a calendar very similar to this one that we looked at earlier. But instead of it being gratitude, it will be calm. So there's nothing really any different apart from that it says calm. And then you can go through and add the content. You can change the day types if you like, and do whatever suits you for your business. So then we've got the images. These are saved into a Google, not Google, they're saved into a Dropbox folder. I would suggest that as soon as you're in here, that you come and you save the images to your computer. Hopefully, if you haven't got Dropbox, you can pick it up, or you already have Dropbox. It's a very valuable cloud folder service that I love. So I would suggest that you put a copy of it on your computer because each of these monthly themes will expire at the end of their month. The reason I've left calm up is because I knew that I was launching again here at the end of December. Who launches at the end of the December? Anyway, I'm opening it up again. And so I'm leaving the calm November theme up until the end of December, and then it won't be available anymore. I'll explain a little bit more how the monthly themes come and go. Okay, so that's the same for the videos. If you click on it, you will be taken to a Dropbox folder, and you'll be able to download the videos. And then, of course, you had said before, there's a bunch of quotes and ideas and tips and questions. It will again be in a Dropbox folder. So I would go there and put it on, make sure it's saved onto your own computer so that when the content expires, you will not have to say, oh no, I missed that content for that month. So make sure that you grab it. So that's the months. You will see at the moment change is here, but that's actually not due until March. So if you go to a month that is not available, that's why I might put the months on there. You'll see that it'll say, sorry, that's not available yet. And that will be open from the 20th of the month. So that's how the monthly things work. So each month opens on the 20th. Although I think I've set January's, which is reflection. I've set that to open on the 15th, just so tomorrow. So just to make things confusing. So each month's content will open on the 20th of the month before, and then that content will expire at the end of its month. So between the 20th and the end of any month, you should have 2 monthly contents available, plus you'll always have gratitude, because that's the bonus theme. So you'll always, between those, that last 10, 11 days of each month, you'll have 3 months available. Most of the time you'll only have, the rest of the time you'll only have 2. So I hope that makes sense. What we're planning to do in the future is package those up. So say if you missed some, you could buy them as a package later. However, if you come in as a beta and stay as a beta, you'll be grandfathered at that $47 a month, and you'll never have to buy a package anyway, because they'll all be accessible to you and you'll have downloaded them to your computer before they expire. All right. So if we move along here, we've got the tutorial menu, and on this page we have lots of video goodies. What I need to do, and we'll be doing before the end of the year, is updating some of these, but also adding a whole lot too, because it's something I know I didn't say it at the beginning, but I'm actually a qualified teacher as well. So I am a primary school teacher. So teaching is one of the things I've done all of my life. So providing tutorials and training is something I really enjoy doing. So I will be filling this out a lot. And there'll be little bite-sized things for you to learn, and anything else that you would like me to add, please let me know. As I said, it's something I really enjoy doing. The top one here is the most important one, and that's how to stick it all together. So it goes through the spreadsheet and the images and how to make it all work. So that's the most important one. Obviously, there's a link to the private Facebook group, which is only for members of this library. And then if you come down here, there's you'll find videos on how to use Canva, which we talked about earlier, which is an image creating service. Also, how to add logos to videos, because I've provided a bunch of videos. Now I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos also on how to hire a virtual assistant, how to use a whole bunch of things in Facebook, and how to use Buffer. Actually, yeah, there's already a video in there on Buffer actually. So just before I move on, and because this whole masterclass is all about how to do it quickly, one of my biggest tips for you would be this bit here. Now, I will get this video done soon. I have a lady who's been working with me from the Philippines since about 2011, 2012, on and off for different things. But the last year and a half, 2 years, she's been helping me with my social media. So when I showed you the spreadsheet, I just go in and I work out what I want that content to be, so the copy. And then I go and I choose an image from my photo source, and I put them in a special place for her in another Dropbox folder, and she sticks it all together. She puts the logo on, she adds the quotes, and then she schedules them into Buffer for me. So I'm not having to do any of those things. So I literally, and no lie, can get a month's worth of, so all that planning is done, because I've done it a long time ahead. And I'll tell you another big tip in a minute. I do that a long time ahead. And then I just spend about an hour a month making sure that that copy is in there, letting her know which image I want to use. Of course, if you sign up to Social Mojo, you won't need to let her know what image, your virtual assistant, if you have one, he or she, you'll be able to, if you wish, you're about to say, here's a folder of images, choose one of those, so you could be a lot more, have a lot more autonomy, like allow them to have a lot more autonomy if you wish, and that would cut back even more time for you. So it's just making sure that the copy is correct. Or, and I might show this in the training video, you could just give them access to your Dropbox folder with this information in it that comes at the library each month, and say, here's a folder full of quotes and questions and and here's a folder full of images and videos. Put them together as you see fit and schedule them. Done. Or they can use that spreadsheet, and you see there's a yes, no. We can add a yes, no for approving as well, where you can say spend 20 minutes a month going through, going yes, yes, no, no, whatever, approving, if you want to run your eye over it first. However, as they're folders full of images that you will have already had access to, they're folders full of quotes and questions and tips that you already would have seen, there may not actually be any need for you to do the approving. However, so that's one way you could work. I'll suggest that probably in the training video later. So that's the tutorials page. I'm probably just going on a bit too much now, but I'm very excited about it. The next menu along is Q&As, and as that sounds, it is a place where you can leave me questions and I will help by providing answers. So you literally just put your question, put your name and question in here, and then I will get that. This is a place where you can click and have our scheduled lives put into your calendar on the 1st and 3rd Thursday of every month. So if you put the question in here, I shall get that and I'll add it to the things that I answer on that following Thursday. I will also answer them live as well. So if you happen to be around live, feel free to ask questions that way too. This is really a community that I want to build to be of service to people who are of service to others. So the Facebook group, in many ways, is like we can have lots of discussions about how about social media in general and its value or lack of, and other things that happen in social media. But this is a way for us to use it in a positive way to support each other. In the future, I may look at opening the community off Facebook so that we have a little more control over it. However, like I said, this is what we're trying to do here is support each other the best way we can, and we're using a social media platform to do it. So please come and join the Facebook group as soon as you join the social media library. And I will be there. I will pop in probably most days. So if there's any way I can help you, please let me know. As I said, I've got a breadth of knowledge across business and the online space. And what I want to do is help you as much as I can for you to reach more people and help more people, and make this world a much better, much happier place. So there's my little rant for the day. It's probably not really a rant, but that's how I feel about it. Now, further along in this page, we also have just your journal account things. So this is the website that I've created. So as I said, it's still kind of in beta because we haven't really had enough people to test it a lot. We've had a few people in here that have enjoyed it and not had too many issues. We haven't had any issues really, but doesn't mean they're not there. I'm sure they are. So please pop in and or please come and join my beta and tell me what you think, as I really would appreciate your opinion. It's not that I want you to break it. I'm going to say come and break it for me, but trying to find all the things, its vulnerabilities, is a really important part of the process for any business to grow. So that's the membership site. I hope you can see the value of it for your business. I hope I've been clear enough. I know it's clear in my head, but sometimes these things are not as clear when you start trying to explain them. So I hope that's made some sense to you. I will just get the slides back up. Sorry, we're doing a lot of flicking around today. I do hope this has been of value to you though. So that's we've had our little tour already. I've managed to put the video probably in the just wrong place. Anyway, just to finish off, social.mission-mojo.com is where you'll find the sales page for the beta. Please get in. You won't, unless I jump over there before you do that. This information isn't actually on the page at the moment because it's something I only decided on last week, how to best present this to you all, and what to give everybody as a way, an incentive to get people in and to have a play. But as I pointed out earlier, it will be 4 months worth of content. You'll have gratitude, which will always be there. You'll have calm, which will be there till the 31st of December. Inspiration, which will be there until the 31st of December. And then you'll have January will be available from the 15th of December until the 31st of January. And after that, we have, as I said, at least 3 years worth of content ready to roll out for you. There will be no excuses to not fill your social media shelves and to not have a really solid social media foundation that you can then build on. going forward for 3 years or more. Wouldn't that be awesome? So yeah, as I said, let's do this together. Thank you for watching all the way through. You have been awesome. That's what it says underneath my picture. Uh, and I've already alluded to this, but as an extra special gift, you'll also get a copy of the content calendar, which I'll put in probably in the open Facebook group, which is the Mission Mojo one. So thank you. Any questions, please ask. As I said, I think you need to get in before the 25th of December. So Christmas Day is the close off for getting in and getting all of that content. You'll want to anyway because of the close off for that content on the 31st of December. You will lose an extra month. So pop in. I can't wait to see you. If you have any questions at all, do let me know. And thank you for watching all the way to the end. You're awesome. Bye. Bye.